Well, hello, magnificent people. This is your host, Cloris Kiley, and here we are with Kate Harlow. She's our special guest today on the show, and I'm so excited to have her here today because she is somebody who made a decision to start her own business, and she did it. And she's going to share pretty much that journey, how she made the transition from employee to business owner, and also the lessons that she learned while she worked with multi-millionaire entrepreneurs, Justin Livingston and Callan. So I'm sure she learned a lot from them, and she's going to share that as well here today. Now, let me tell you a little bit more about Kate. Kate Harlow is the owner and founder of Irresistible to Love. Yes, she's dedicated to helping single women rewire how they do love so they can become completely magnetic and irresistible to the high-quality love they're longing for. Having been in the transformational industry for almost a decade, Kate traveled the world leading workshops and retreats. She has coached and mentored thousands of women of all ages. And if you want to connect with Kate, she is at irresistibletolove.com, and that's IRRESISTIBLE to love. TOLOVE.com. So excited to have you here today, Kate. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Cloris.
Well, I think it's amazing. It requires a lot of courage to make that leap because you did have a really successful career with Justin and Callan, and I'm sure they were really happy with your work, and you were happy with them. So, what prompted you to say, I'm just going to start my own business?
Well, I had the desire for a really long time. So with Callan and Justin, I was their head coach as well as their head facilitator. I do lead programs for them still. So I still do contract work. I actually have an event coming up in a couple weeks with them. And they do 6 events a year. So I have 6 contracts with them a year, and the rest of the time I focus on my work. So I had that inkling for a really long time that I wanted to do my own thing. And how I got clear is I coached thousands and thousands of pieces of marketing. Education-based marketing specifically is what we teach at one of their programs called Magnetize Your Audience. And every time I coached anyone, any of our clients whose topic was love or dating or self-love or relationships, anything in the love department, I always was so lit up. My creativity went through the roof. I felt so excited to share with them and help them with their marketing. And then when I was helping people on the flip side with marketing that was about business or about money or about health, it was more of a it was just less fulfilling.
Right.
So that was a pretty clear indicator for a really long time that was because it was calling me towards doing that for myself. So I've been a love coach since I was like 3 years old. My preschool teacher told my mom that I was going to be a mediator one day or a counselor. And because coaching, of course, didn't exist back 32 years ago when I was in preschool. It's been the thing that I've done with my friends, with my clients. Like, it's just been the thing that I've done for so many years naturally. So I always had that inkling. And when I was with Callan and Justin, I was with them almost from the beginning of their company. I really built that company with them and alongside them. And I started to get burnout because I was traveling a lot. I was speaking a lot. I was leading events. I was leading coaching calls. I was also doing sales for them. So I had so many hats to wear. And with all the travel, last November, I started to get really severe adrenal fatigue. And that is what the universe took care of me. That is what had me renegotiate my contract from being a full-time employee down to just doing the contracts, the live events, which is only 6 times a year. And when I made that transition last year, this time a little bit earlier last year, it just opened up space, and now all of a sudden it was like, okay, I guess I'm starting my own business, and that's what I did.
Wow, well, that's a great story, and it makes sense. I mean, you were getting all these little clues along the way, right? You felt a little bit kind of like unfulfilled. There was something there that was missing, and then of course that health call was kind of like the final, the Yeah, that the little bit that pushed you over the edge.
Yeah.
And it's interesting because I'm thinking about a previous guest I had on the show, and her name is Serena Dyer. She is the daughter of Dr. Wayne Dyer, and she said that she went to law school just because she thought she had to go. Like, it's not like she liked it. She felt kind of like she was obligated to do something important with her career and so forth. And it wasn't for her. And it was only when she got sick that she said, okay, I really hate this. I have to quit. So that's what happened to you. And I think it requires a lot of courage to acknowledge that and to take that step. So if you're listening or watching right now, and you are, not sure about what's best for you, just think about that. How do you feel physically and spiritually? And just take those clues and kind of take action. And Kate, something that you've done, and I think is another lesson for us to learn, is that you've been able to kind of combine, your love for, working with Justin and Callan, making a difference with their audience, with your own stuff. And you're growing your own business. So it's definitely doable and workable. And you just have to, do things in a very focused way and with passion, which is what you have done. So I love that.
Thank you. Yeah, it helped that I've been teaching workshop leaders and coaches and healers how to build a successful business. I've been teaching that for over 7 years, almost 8 years actually. So that, with the content of what Callan and Justin teach, that's been really hugely helpful in me being able to launch really quickly because I have all the tools and skills I could possibly need. So I've been pretty blessed in that way for sure.
I love that. And then something I noticed about you, Kate, because I met Kate when she was emceeing the live event for Joint Venture Insider Circle. And I was impressed with, her poise when she was on stage, kind of keeping people moving along and organized and just kind of, being really good on stage. And would you say that those communication skills have really helped you kind of grow your business and I guess, feel like you're at a good spot, even though it's a very young business? And have you ever been that way, or do you think it requires some sort of study, or what did you do to get to be such a good communicator?
Well, on stage, that's a whole different ballgame. People have more fear of public speaking than of death in our world, and especially in North America. And I had a huge fear of public speaking. When I first met Callan, she was mentoring me, and she desired to have me get on stage, and I had no interest in it. But with a random encounter, I met a woman one night at a meetup group. She said she was guided to help me, and I had 3 EFT sessions. Have you heard of emotional freedom technique?
Yes.
Yeah.
Tapping, right?
Yeah. And I had done it before, and I hadn't seen results. And I had 3 sessions with this woman. She promised she would help me overcome my fear of public speaking. And it went away like that. And then all of a sudden I got all these opportunities to speak. And then Callan got pregnant, and I got to take over leading a lot of the programs. And the universe just lined it up to give me the opportunities to overcome that fear. And now I love it. You can't get me off the stage. In terms of emceeing, that was my first time emceeing. I actually found it harder emceeing than leading a 5-day event on selling from the stage, because it was just a completely different ball game. Like getting networkers to pay attention and to sit down. It was like a totally different muscle, but it was lots of fun. And it's speaking on stage. I'd say the biggest thing, if you have any inner game about it, definitely work with a healer to work through that stuff. But in terms of actually getting on stage and getting good at it, it's really just getting the reps in. And the biggest advice I have for anyone on stage, actually for on stage, on camera, in your email marketing, in literally everything that you put out there, just be yourself. We have a program called Mesmerize Your Audience. That's Callan's baby. It's helping workshop leaders become completely mesmerizing on and off stage. And it's about undoing all of the trying to be perfect and trying to be a great speaker, and helping them just be who they are, because that's the sweet spot.
I agree with you. There's nothing like an authentic speaker to engage people and to draw them in. I'm thinking about that TEDx speech with, the authenticity about Brene Brown. That is one of the most watched videos. It's because of that. And, I think a lot of people are afraid to be on camera or just to kind of have that direct interaction with your audience, but it's so essential. Would you say that's, again, an important part of every expert-based business to have that direct interaction? And let's say that somebody is kind of like too afraid to do video right now or to be on stage. What are other options for them to communicate with their audience that are viable?
Other option, well, you could do webinars where you're doing slides instead of having yourself on video, so it's just your voice in audio. But definitely the leading form of marketing is education-based marketing, giving value, offering as some sort of a transformation, and then strategically positioning whatever your solution is. This is the best way to serve your audience. So what I mean by this is teaching them something that will solve a problem that they're currently struggling with. And while you're teaching this solution, also educating them that there's a deeper problem going on, which will lead them to desire the next step with you, whether that's a strategy session or whether that's a paid program, or it depends on the modality you're using. Strategy sessions are a great place to start, offering a free or a really low ticket session. So it's easy for them to say yes. And then from there, again, do the same thing, give value, teach them something, and then position again your program. Did I answer your question?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking, that, you can kind of go up, take baby steps until you're ready to do that. So it could be, just do slides, just do a webinar. You could do an audio type of program, and then, of course, don't wait too long until you're ready, quotation marks, because that moment could never arrive if you don't take that.
Exactly. Totally. Action trumps planning every time. It seriously does. Like, the more you take action and take leveraged action, and what I mean by that is action that's actually going to bring profit into your business, that's the best action to take. Definitely educating in whatever way you can, whether that's on stage, whether that's in a webinar, in a teleclass if you're afraid to be seen. Teleclasses aren't as popular nowadays, but they still work. There's so many podcasts. There's so many different ways you can become that expert and that trusted advisor. And when you provide an education, that's when you become that trusted advisor to your potential clients and build the trust, build the rapport, and they're so much more likely to work with you when you've already helped them solve a problem.
Yeah, I love that. So far, we have 3 elements of success with your new business, right? First, you have to have that value that you want to deliver to people. Second, you have to build that authority to be seen as an expert in your field. You have to have that communication, right, to be able to reach your audience. And then that takes me actually to my next question for you. I know that you're helping people with their relationships. How do you know what value piece to offer to them? How did you get to know your target audience and your avatar? And do you incorporate that in your messaging?
Yes, absolutely. So that's a really great point, Cloris. It's so important to have an audience. And I think that we've all been taught, niche marketing, target marketing. We call it a specific audience. It's out there. It's such a known concept, yet I see so many coaches, especially, but so many business owners who are still marketing to everyone. And the problem is, when you market to everyone, you're really not helping nearly a fraction of who you could help. In your upfront message, you have to be specific and clear with who you're talking to. So for example, my audience right now is single women. I do work with women in relationships. I work with men as well. I really can help anyone to do with love. But all of my marketing right now, all of my efforts are going to just single women, and I'm building an entire community around single women. So what I'm able to do, because I've narrowed it down to single women, now I can get really intimate with them in my marketing message, because I can have conversations with single women, and I can also remember back to when I was single, and what are the pain points, what are the problems that I was struggling with, or that I know that single women struggle with, and I can reach them on that level. I'm not going to promote what I teach. I teach them how to build a healthy relationship with themselves, essentially how to rewire their view on themselves, the value that they feel within. I completely rewire that so that they become more magnetic to high quality love. But I don't lead with that. I don't talk about that at all in my marketing, because if I did, I would be only reaching a tiny fraction of single women that already know that they need that. Most women have no clue that they need that, and that goes for anyone's solution. Most people don't. Only 3% of your ideal clients know that they need whatever your solution is. 67% of your ideal clients are either open to you, or they're completely unaware that they even have a problem, or that their problem could be solved. So when you speak to a specific audience, when you're really clear on who you're talking to, named by what we call an egoic label. So an egoic label is a label that your audience calls themselves. It's another name they call themselves. Single moms, single woman, men in their 30s, professional woman. There's so many different egoic labels. And so when you're clear on the egoic label you're serving, you can get intimate and be really clear on what problems they're struggling with, and then provide them content and gifts to help them with that problem. So for example, when you go to my website, irresistible-to-love.com, the first thing that happens when you go to my site is there's a pop-up, and there's an opt-in for what I call the 10-step successful dating checklist. So it's in my experience, every single woman I've ever come across desires to know what that is. Yeah. I have yet to meet a single woman who doesn't want the 10-step successful dating checklist to help them with navigating the crazy world of dating. So give them a gift that's going to serve them specifically, whatever their problem is, whatever they're challenged by, and something that's valuable, but also something that will strategically position a next step.
So much value here, Kate, and you've said it. I mean, it's so important to not sell what you deliver, really, or delivery method, or the actual, the method that you use, but just what people want. You have to kind of market what people want, and then give them what they need. And in your case, you're helping people with their beliefs about themselves. But nobody, or the 3% only, is going to say, yeah, maybe I should change what I think about myself. It's those 67% that you mentioned that we need to reach by having the right messaging. I love that. And then also, I love the fact that your giveaway is quick to access. It's not like, access my 10-part, 20-hour training series on dating, right?
Yeah, totally. So important. And there's a perception of value, right? So a book or a report or a checklist, there's a perception of value that they get it right now. So even though a book is actually the most perceived highest value, highest perception of value, even though most people may never even read the book, or it might take them 3 months to read the book, they still perceive that they already have it. It feels like a concrete piece of a concrete thing that they get to take with them. So it's way easier to get people opting in and saying yes when it's something that is perceived as high value. Ooh, I get that right away. It's going to help me with my problem, but I also get it immediately.
Yeah, exactly. I love that. So go ahead and check out Kate's site so you see that in action. Of course, if you need to improve your relationships, why not download that checklist and you'll see. And you're right that everything comes from the inside and the relationship you have with yourself, and that not only impacts your relationships but your business as well. So, Kate, if you had to say one kind of like a mindset that we have to be successful in business that has helped you, that you have learned along the way, because your business might be young, but you've been in business for a while already. So what have you encountered, like mindset wise, that you had to change, or that you had to kind of pull that strength and then keep plugging along?
Yeah, love it. Okay, so I would say a couple of things. So first would be action. I already spoke to this, but for years and years and years, it's like did so much healing work and so much like shifting mindsets and working on limiting beliefs and all of these things. But until you take action, nothing really changes. So for example, with the public speaking fear, had I healed that fear, but not gone on stage and challenged myself again and again and again, the fear would probably still be there to some degree. But because I kept getting up and saying yes, no matter how uncomfortable it was, that's how I became the speaker that I am now. So it's the same with anything in your business. Action trumps planning. Take action, take action. And so on a daily basis, I would say when you're making your to-do list for the day, prioritize the profitable action steps that you can take first. What's going to generate revenue in your business? Do those first. So many business owners waste so much time on Facebook, on social media, like just ping-ponging, email, doing things that aren't actually building leverage in their business. So take action, but take leveraged action that's actually going to get you clients, going to bring revenue into your business, and going to move your business forward. So that's the first part. And then the second part that I've had to learn, oh gosh, there's so many. I want to say 3 now. The second part is trust. Trust is a huge part of it. It's like this business is so much bigger than me. And when I take the personalness out of it, like it's so often it's like, oh, is nobody clicking on the video, or there's less people watching my video today. Is it me, or not as many people showed up for my talk tonight as normal? Like, is what they don't like me, instead of me making it personal about me, this business is not about me. This is a movement I'm creating to serve as many women as possible, to help them fall in love with themselves. This has nothing to do with me. So when you take yourself out of the equation and really just practice whatever your spiritual beliefs are, practice trusting, deeply trusting that the universe has your back. And this business, like if you're doing the thing that you're feeling called to do, it's going to happen. So keep moving your feet forward, keep taking action, and trust that you're going to get to where you want to get to. You need both. You can't just sit on your, meditation cushion and trust and pray and manifest your dream business. And you also can't just take action without the trust piece. You really need both. So I would say those are the 2 biggest ones. And then the last one I want to say, this is something that I've seen so many business owners come to in the last couple of years. It seems to be a really hot topic right now. And it's something that I'm critically dedicated to doing in my business, is make sure that everything you do in your business is aligned with you. There's a lot of teachers out there who are teaching amazing systems that are incredibly beneficial for your business. But if it doesn't feel good to you, you're either not going to do it, or you're not going to get the results you want, or you're going to burn out and end up resenting your business, this thing that you loved when you first started. So build a business that's totally aligned with you. I'm so committed to building my business so that it's fun and pleasurable and light, and for me, so that I enjoy the process, whether I'm marketing, whether I'm selling, whether I'm fulfilling on my programs. I am so committed to everything I do and how I build every piece of my business that is 100% aligned with my gifts, with who I am, and with me as a person. That is a piece that I think it's really new to business. I believe that it wasn't always the case, that a lot of people built, a business the way that they were told to, but forgot to consider themselves in the process. Yeah. I have an amazing friend of mine who's one of my greatest teachers. Her name is Callan, and she has a program called Own It. And it's exactly this. It's about creating your business. So you're owning your own gifts, your own talents, your own yourself, so that your whole business is aligned with you. So yeah, highly recommend it.
Well, I love that because it's true. I mean, if you're doing something just because you feel like you have to, just like anything, well, you will either get burned out, or you will just hate what you do. So what's the point of having your business and having the courage to start it if it's not going to be aligned with who you are?
It's so true. And the tragedy of business is most people start their business because they have this burning message inside of them, because they're so passionate, because they love what this work that they're doing in the world, and they end up burnt out or hating it because they sell themselves out along the way. So make sure that you keep yourself in check, and you honor what matters to you throughout the whole process.
Definitely, and have fun with it. I mean, if it's not fun, then well, yeah, again, what's the point? So yeah, I love that. And then the focused action that you mentioned at the beginning, I think is so important too. I mean, it's not just about doing stuff; it's about doing the right things, things that move your business forward. So I invite you to just take a look at your to-do list and see, okay, what is really moving my business forward or not. And it's interesting because just this morning, I sent an announcement to my LinkedIn group saying that we were moving to Facebook. And I've been sending them reminders, but I said, this is the last call, we're moving to Facebook. And then some people were saying, well, I don't understand. Why can't you do the two groups? I said, well, I can't. I have to focus so I can deliver value. And that's just the way it is.
Yeah, totally. You honored yourself. And the thing is, the more that you honor yourself in your business, the more that it will actually serve your clients on a deeper level. Because if all of a sudden you're spread too thin because you're trying to do too many things or in too many different places and please your clients' needs before your own, it will backfire. You will get resentful. Like, it will not go well. So I love that you did that. That's really cool.
Yeah, it felt really good. So it was awesome. A good thing. Well, you know what? We're running out of time. So it just goes by so fast. But I wanted to make sure that everybody knows, how to connect with you. So if you could please, tell us your site again, the giveaway that you have going on would be great, Kate, so people can go ahead and connect with you.
Yeah, so it's irresistibletolove.com. Make sure you know how to spell irresistible. It's a really easy word to misspell. So irresistibletolove.com. And that's my website. You can get the 10-step dating checklist. If you're single or you're in a relationship and you're struggling in the love department, I would love to gift you with a love attraction assessment. Can I get that link to you? Because I have a link that I can give you if anyone wants to book a love attraction assessment. Basically, it's I'll help you pinpoint the number one blind spot that's keeping you in the same love pattern, whatever that is, whether you're attracting all the wrong men or whether you're struggling to attract anyone at all, or you get into relationships and then you fight a lot, or whatever your love pattern is. I'll help you pinpoint the number one blind spot so that you can start to rewire how you do love. So yeah, I'd love to give that to anyone who it's relevant to. So I will get the link to you, Cloris. And
that's perfect.
And yeah, that's it. You can find me on Facebook, Kate Harlow. I live in Vancouver, British Columbia in Canada. So if you look up Kate Harlow, Vancouver, BC, I should pop up there. It's a black and white headshot of me. On Facebook, and I have a Facebook page is Irresistible to Love as well.
That's perfect. So remember, Irresistible to Love. Go ahead and download the checklist, and then I'll definitely write a link to the assessment because I think it's so important to be aware of what's holding us back. That's always the first step to change. So I think it's a great thing that you're doing there. And before we go, I forgot, this is a question I love to ask. And that is, what is something that most people, at least us, like we don't know about you, that you would like to share, something fun?
Something fun. Oh, about me.
That's right.
Oh my goodness. Something fun about me that most people don't know.
Yeah, well, at least us. I mean, I know that your friends would probably know, but something that we don't know about Kate.
Well, I'm Canadian. I love to travel. This is kind of boring. I jumped out of an airplane when I was 20 years old. So
there you go.
Probably the craziest thing I've ever done, but I love to take risks. And I'm definitely on a mission to help women completely change how they do love. I'm so committed to this work. It is not about the man ever, ever, ever. Yet most women are stuck in this the guy, he doesn't call me back. He's not texting me. And I'm on this major mission to completely change how women do love so that they can be totally empowered and just honoring of themselves and start to attract really high quality, really deserving men or women or whoever they're trying to attract. So yeah, that's the deepest part of me right now.
Well, that's beautiful, Kate. And thank you once again. Such an honor to have you on the show. And, just keep us posted on your progress with your business. I know it's growing fast already, so it'll keep growing. And thank you again for your expertise and being here today.
Thank you so much, Cloris. This is lots of fun. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everybody. And I'll see you next time. Remember, every second of your life, reveal your magnificence.